Hi, this is Eric with For the Details, and today I'm going to do a quick review on a nice little tool that I came across in my never-ending pursuit to make carpet shampooing a more efficient process. So we know that's a very difficult thing to do, but besides the paint, it's one of the #1 things that clients are looking for to have nice and clean when they pick up their vehicle. The tool I'll be discussing today is the Mytee Dry Upholstery tool. I found this on Mytee's website when I was searching to find a solution in-tank hose. As you can see on the traditional upholstery tool, one that I may add was probably never meant for carpets in cars just because of the size and bulk of it. You have the solution hose tied to the suction hose running the length of the entire contraption, and you also have this large metal piece, and the problem I had was this metal piece would heat up to the 210 degrees that my extractor heats up to, and I would lose a lot of skin to this thing. So I tended not to even use my extractor once I bought my steamer unless it was the most extreme cases, which is a shame. It's a nice piece and it does a good job. So while looking to fix that solution, I came across this. As you can see, it comes with a nice solution inside the hose. It's a lot smaller, a lot more mobile. And the design of it, I'm not sure if you can get in there, has the solution coming out on either side of the suction. Now I'll go over the pros with this particular machine. As you can see, I got on my board here. You have a faster drying time. You're sucking up the material pretty much as soon as it comes out, and you'll see when I start it and I can adjust the flow rate on the back of the knob here to what's coming out. Okay, so we got this handy thumb nozzle that controls the solution coming out, and the big thing with this is the water will not oversaturate the fabric. You're basically just giving the fabric a nice rinse and getting whatever cleaning agent that you may have used to clean the fabric out of it and rinsing it all out. You can see it just kind of goes back and forth, never gets too damp. Now with this older contraption, you're squirting water out at 120 psi, the fabric gets really wet, and then you're trying to dry that at the same time, and then usually you got to do a couple dry strokes to get it. I would have to put the fans on the vehicle for hours before the customer comes pick it up, and you don't want to hand a customer a car with a wet seat. It's just bad presentation. Biggest advantage for me, #2, size and ease of use. This thing is heavy. It doesn't seem built for a human hand. The trigger gets annoying, and trying to get this into a car as opposed to this that looks like it's fitted for your hand. It has finger grips there, a nice rubber piece there. As you can see, this thing really is a lot more maneuverable to get into a vehicle. And also, you can see that gives you a lot more versatility in the car where things get tight. Solution in hose is #3. That was the main reason I bought this. I was looking for a solution in hose, and with the extra cost of this, it was a no-brainer for me. I really like this hose. It makes things a lot easier. I don't get burnt at all. Two-way cleaning. As you see, you got the suction on both sides of the solution nozzle. So when you're working, that's a clean stroke, that's a clean stroke, that's a clean stroke. It just goes both ways. Whereas with this, you'd spray and suck, and then you have to do a couple dry spots. Spray and suck, a couple dry spots. You can't go that way and expect to clean. This, you don't even require a dry stroke. Once you do this, and you notice there's no more dirt coming up, then you're done. And that leads me to the clear top. I really like this clear top, because when you're working, you can see exactly what's coming up, and you know when that water's coming up clear that you're done with that particular spot, and you just keep going over it until it comes up clear and you know it's clean. With this, you can't see that same dirt coming up, and there's a strange satisfaction with seeing that dirt coming up. Plus, where it would get it so wet, you couldn't really tell if the material was clean until it dried, which usually would cost me a lot of time because I'd have to go over the same material again after it dried and then wait for it to dry again. Next, we got no overspray. This comes out 120 psi. I typically do your carpets last. So that's after cleaning all the plastic, all the material in the car. When this comes out of there, it breaks up any dirt or sand that may have got stuck in the carpet after vacuuming, and it blows it everywhere. And then I gotta wipe everything down again. With this, everything's contained. When the water comes out and rinses the fibers, goes straight up there, it doesn't blow it anywhere, just go over it once, done. And this is one that a lot of people don't think about, is the heat loss. My extractor warms up to 210 degrees. By the time it sprays out of here, it's a lot cooler than 210 degrees when it hits the material. This is coming out at 210 degrees. So you're getting the full benefit of heated extraction when you're using it. And now that I've gone over all the pros, I'll cover the cons with the machine. Hi, I'm back, and we're going to go over the cons now. First one I'd like to talk about is the price. You can see I got the MSRP up here. It's about $300 from Mytee's website. For me, that was a no-brainer because I was going to spend $150 on a solution in hose anyways. So for the extra $150, I really wanted to give this a shot, and I'm glad I did. Now you got to think, $300. How many details you have to do to cover that price. If you're a high volume business, this is definitely a tool you want to go with. If you're a smaller guy that doesn't do that many details and that many full interiors, it may not be the right investment for you. Water usage. This, you wouldn't think, but you go through a lot more water with this. Even adjusting a thumb nozzle to your specific liking, you will notice that I have a Mytee Spider HP60. I think it's a 5-gallon tank, 6-gallon tank. With the old one, with the trigger, I would only use maybe 1 tank full of water. With this, it seems like I'm putting new water in it every quadrant. So I'll go through maybe 4 or 5 tanks every single time. I'm guessing that most of the water just gets sucked up here, and that's the reason why the fabric's not getting oversaturated, and as you come across, that's what's getting the fabric wet. That's something you got to watch. The only issue with me was I was using deionized water in my tanks to keep my lines from rusting, so I had to switch to regular tap water. It was getting too expensive, and now when I'm done with the detail, I just flush it all out with the deionized water so my tanks can sit with the cleaner water. Third, we got the clear top. Now this is a pro, but it's also a con. If you have employees, you know they're not going to be as gentle with your equipment as you are. And this particular nozzle has probably been dropped thousands of times. It looks exactly the same. Stainless steel, it's not dented, it's not really beat up too bad. Looks the same, it's going to last forever. This, I can see this cracking really easily. I try to be careful with it. You can see it's already a little scratched, a little beat up. On a positive note, it should be easy to replace. I have had this open. You can see there's 4 screws. And it easily pops off of there. I'm not sure what Mytee's going to charge for these clear tops. They'll probably make a killing off of it. I know they charge pretty high for a lot of their replacement parts. Third, fourth con, no pressure. The old style, you get a nice, I think it's 120 psi coming out of here. And when you have those special projects, if you have a car that has a large stain in it, if you live up north and you have a car that has a lot of salt in it, which is a big problem when I was in Michigan, candy, you get gummy bears melted. This machine's not going to do a lot for that. This is really for rinsing the carpet after you've cleaned it. This machine, I could take those special projects and just hit it with that nice hot stream of 120 psi water, and you'll see the gummy bears melting. You'll see the salt melting. This is the only thing I could ever get that salt off of carpets. You would just melt it off and suck it up. I still use this whenever a car has one of those special things. This will not do it, so don't get rid of this if you have it. You're still going to need it when those special projects come in. Next, we have the check the fit of the metal. I believe Mytee may have rushed these out to market. They came out February 2015, and the only reviews I could find were on upholstery cleaning websites, not really car related. And there was a couple that I saw on YouTube where the guy had sharp edges around his metal on his insert. And he actually showed going back and forth over a piece of material, and it was leaving scratches like this. He sent it back to Mytee, they replaced it for him, and I believe Mytee has since known about the problem and they fixed it, and I've not heard any more complaints about it. Mine was fine. This whole insert comes out, you can clean around it, and I didn't have anything sharp on it, but you definitely want to check that with a piece of material that you don't care about, and make sure you're not scratching anything that may be valuable. Run your hand over, just make sure there's no sharp edges anywhere. Next, I got two more that are kind of issues for me. There's no vac relief, so you're getting the full suction of your machine on here. Mytee has since changed this also. I went to their website before I started the video, and they now come with a vacuum relief here. I'm not sure if they're going to be sending them out to existing customers who have already bought this, but they now have it. And that's good if you're working on delicate materials. You don't want to over suction on the material. And also the last one, there's a couple extras now. Like I said, Mytee's still developing these. I think they may have rushed them out to market, but they're giving some extra things away now on their website. And like I said, I saw AutoGeek sells them now, and I don't think they're offering anything extra with them. But it may be something you want to keep an eye on to see what they're going to do with this next, because it's not even been out for a year. There's not a lot of information out about it, especially for car detailers, and that's really the market this was made for. And speaking of car detailing, I think it's time to go do a dry run in a vehicle, and I can show you the difference side by side. I'll meet you out there.